Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. Hope you had a wonderful holiday week. I only played a couple days this week. The rest of the time was spent with family and friends. I'm sure you guys understand. But I did get a couple interesting hands for you to go over, and I hope you enjoy them. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Here it comes. All right, we buy into the 1-3 game for $500. Played at a different table. It was really slow. Transferred over to this table. This is the very first hand. There was a $6 straddle. I was getting my camera all set up, so I limped in. And I got followed by a bunch of other limpers. So I think we're going 7-way in the limp pot. And the flop comes out beautiful, ace 4-3 with a 3 of diamonds. So I got top 2 pair. Player to my right now leads for $6. This is way too small. I'm going to put in a raise, but I don't want to scare anyone off because I got this thing pretty much wrapped up. So I make it $30. The player on my direct left decides that $30 wasn't enough, and he makes it $65. That gets everyone else to fold out, and now it's just me and him going to battle. He only started the hand with about $225, so getting the money in shouldn't be a problem. But I think the best method would be just to go ahead and raise here. He already said that he had a strong hand. He raised my $30 raise. Granted, it wasn't a big raise, but I think he's pretty much pot committed. Thought about shoving, but I go, I'll just raise 100. He'll probably put his remaining chips in. After he makes this call, he only has like $55 behind, so I was just going to put it in no matter what the turn card was. But the 6 of diamonds is a pretty good one for me. Pick up a flush draw. River card comes as a jack of hearts. I show my hand, and sure enough, we're good. I then get a rush of good cards, but no action here. I pick up a pair of aces. Open for a raise of 15, and it's all folded back around to me. So I win $3. It's a good win. Next hand, there's a limp. Player raises to 15. I pick up ace king. I make it 50. Everybody folds. Then I pick up a pair of jacks. Pretty good hand. Put in a raise after one player limps, and everybody folds. So a little bit frustrating. The player I play with quite often limps in from middle position. Everybody else folds out, and he's saying how he hopes to make the vlog. I told him I'll put him on if I win the hand. Here I got queen 10 in the big blind. I just check it. There's a whole $7. Flop comes with 2 aces. I check. He checks. River card comes as a king. I check. He says, you're good. So I roll over my queen 10 proudly. And he goes, yeah, you're good. And then, whoop, he shows ace king. Everyone got a good laugh, including myself. This is one of the best and worst played slow rolls I have ever seen. Doesn't raise with ace king, checks all the way down just so he can slow roll me on the river. Got a hand to him. Hell of a play. So I'm a little frustrated, get slow rolled, and I go card dead. So for the next hour or so, I just folded. Finally, I pick up a real hand. When I look down at pocket aces on the button, I open for 15. I get called from the big blind, and there was a limper from under the gun. We head off to a flop, which comes ace high, but all of one flavor. It's ace 3 deuce all clubs. Check to me. I take a little teeny bet. I just want to get a read on these players, where they're at. From the way they call, I expect all of them to be on some sort of draw. So when the turn card comes as an 8 of diamonds and they check to me, I'm just going to make it a little bit more expensive for them to draw their flush. Both players are a little bit conservative, so I make it $50. First player thinks for a while and then ends up folding. The second player folds rather quickly. I ended up playing like a little over 3 hours, I think like 3 hours and 20 minutes, and the game just was not there. I was on a table change, but that game was pretty juicy and nobody was leaving it. So I decided to pack it up and go get something to eat. Came back the next day and started out somewhat similar. 20 minutes into our session, we look down at pocket jacks from middle position, open for a raise to $15. You get called from the player in late position, player on the button, and of course the big blind. So we're going 4 ways to this flop with $61 in. And the flop comes out the beautiful Ace, King, 3, all diamonds. All right, my hand is garbage. I'm giving up on this. If anyone bleeds at it, the button puts in a bet for $20, and off we go, just to fold. Then we get a long session of people just folding when I raise. Here I pick up kings, open for a raise, everybody folds. Then we pick up another real hand, ace king suited, open for a raise, everybody folds. Getting a little bit frustrating. Here I open with pocket sevens. That's a good one. I get one caller. Flop comes with a 7. I bet he folds. Well, since everybody's folding, I decided to open my raising range quite a bit, and I sold a few pots, and here I have king jack on the button. Got a bunch of limpers for $3. I make it $30. Not the greatest hand in the world, but when you get a bunch of limpers, it's probably better than most of their hands. I end up getting one caller from the player in the hijack, and we go heads up to a flop that comes out jack high with jack 10, 6 rainbow. Pretty good flop for my hand. I got top pair, second best kicker. Doubt he has ace jack. He might have jack 10 though, maybe even pocket sixes, but I'm going to bet 40 and he puts in a quick call. Turn card comes is a 2 of spades. I definitely want to charge all those open-end straight draws, all those weaker jacks. I'm going to go a little bit bigger here. I'm going for 120. I figure if he had a straight draw, maybe he picked up a flush draw, he's going to come along. If he has a jack, say a hand like queen jack would be the obvious one I'll be getting some action from. He might continue. If he has a better hand than that, I think he would raise. He does make the call, and we're going to head to the river with 390 in the pot, and it's a 5 of hearts. It's a very, very good card. Don't expect that to complete anything that he might hold. I was trying to decide whether I should try to jam and get max value, but I don't think he's very strong. I think he has a jack. Maybe queen jack is the best hand he can have here. So I go for $110, kind of on the small size. I think looking back on this, I can probably go a little bit bigger because he doesn't think too long before assembling the $110 and sliding it in. And my king jack is good. And we win this one. We have a fairly tight player opening for $15, and he got called in 4 spots. I got king, queen of clubs in the big blind. I kind of like the idea of squeezing with this hand, but I hate the idea of doing it with someone who's fairly tight opening up from under the gun. So I decided just to, realize my equity with king, queen suited. There's a lot of good flops I can hit with this one without getting into too much trouble. Flop comes king, jack, deuce, rainbow. There is one club, so I have a backdoor flush draw with my top pair, second best kicker. It gets checked all the way around to the player on the button, who bets out for a small sizing of $20. What could this mean? Well, he could have some sort of straight draw. He could have like a pair of kings with a lousy kicker. He's been playing a lot of hands. So I just want to get it heads up and then play from there. So I make it $60. I probably should just go for like $80 to $100, but I made it $60. And he doesn't think long before putting in the call. Hoping to see a safe card. Instead, we get the jack of clubs. So if he was betting second pair, he made trips, but I do pick up a flush draw. Now, I decided to bet $80. I think this is a good sizing. If he has a jack or better, I think he'll probably raise at this point. But he just makes the call. So I'm really putting him on a hand like queen 10, maybe king 10, king 9. As I said, he's been fairly sticky. River card comes as a 3 of hearts. I was thinking about making a small blocker bet here. I decided just to check it over and see what I can get a read off of him. He fires fairly quickly for 190. Now, a lot of times when people bet that fast, it's a bluff, but his sizing is that of value. It's about a half-size pot bet. I'm in a real pickle at this point. Don't think I'm good against anything that he would be betting for value. I mean, it sounds or looks like he has some sort of hand like a jack. Maybe he slow played a hand like pocket deuces. King jack, it's possible. I don't know. I don't really like my chances, but as I said, he's been playing a lot of hands, been hot and stuck. So I eventually just make the call. I don't really like my hand. I'm prepared to fold it. He does show the Jack 10 of hearts, so I really needed just to fold that hand. Could have saved myself $190 on the river. Instead, I'm stuck again. I make a very loose call from the button with 10-7 of diamonds. The player that beat me in that previous hand, I've been getting some sizing tells from him on his strength of his hands over the last 30 minutes. So when the flop comes out, Queen 8-4 rainbow, I'm going to give up to any reasonable bet because I have absolutely nothing besides some backdoor draws. But he does a little sizing tell for me, and he bets out for $20. I see this as just weakness. I'm going to pounce. I raise it to $80. Not $60 like I did previously, but $80 like I'm supposed to. Everyone else folds out. He takes a peek at his hand a couple times. I'm sure he's betting like a weak queen at best, maybe just a 8. But I got a straight flush draw, a straight draw, a flush draw, a pair draw, and I think he's just really weak. So let's see what happens. He ends up folding. We win this one with 10 high and starting to chip up. Player opens for $10 under the gun. I got 7-6 suited. I got 420 in my stack. It's probably big enough to where I like to play these suited connectors, see if I can make something happen. I put in the call. The player on my immediate left raises to $40. The other player puts in the call. Of course, I'm getting pretty good odds to continue here with my 7-6 suited. So we're going to go see a flop with $124 in the center. Flop comes out 8-8-5 with one spade. So I got an open ender and a backdoor flush draw. First player checks, I check. Now the 3-better continues for a bet of $50. He would do this with all his overpairs, of course, but he'd also do it with all his ace highs, ace king, ace queen. If I just call, it'll look kind of weak. I mean, I'm going to try to play this hand like I have an 8. It might get him to fold some of his overpairs. Should get him to fold like all his ace kings and ace queens. So what would I do if I actually had an 8 here? Like if I had, instead of 7-6, had 8-7 or something. I would raise and put in a small raise. So I make it a min raise to $100. Figured out his ace kings and ace queens will probably dump, but he puts in the quick call. So it kind of looks like I'm up against an overpair. I don't know. I just decided I'm just going to go with the hand. I'm going to jam all in, try to get folds from some of those overpair. He snap calls. River card comes as a 6 of diamonds. I tell him I made 2 pair. He shows his ace king. So he was truly a non-believer and called my BS by calling me down. Luckily, I made something on the river. I pick up the beautiful king queen of diamonds from under the gun. Going to be putting in a raise. Make it $15. Get called by the player in the cutoff who has a very short stack, like $50. And I get a call from one of the players in the blind. The other one kind of does some fancy folding. And we're going to go 3 ways to this flop. The flop comes out 10-8 deuce with 2 diamonds. So I got 2 overcards, flush draw, and a backdoor straight draw. First player checks, I go for 20. The short stack goes all in for $34. The initial checker puts in for the $34. Only thing I can do here is complete, and I really don't want to build a side pot on a draw, so I'm just going to go ahead and call. Try to realize my equity. Got a lot of cards that will help me. 5 of clubs is not one of them. We both check. River card comes as ace of hearts. We miss everything. Check it down. Player on the cutoff had ace 4 diamonds, so we're actually drawing a little bit slim there. 2 limpers in front of me. I look down at pocket jacks. I raise to $30. It's folded around to the player in the small blind who I just tripled up in that previous hand, and he shoves all in for $136. He's been playing very, very tight, and when he shoves all in, I don't know whether I like jacks in this spot. I'm either up against ace king or an overpair. But I already got $30 in there. There's some dead money, so I stick it in, hoping that I'm up against ace king. But I'm relaxed when the flop comes jack high. Turn is a queen, river is a queen. He shows down ace king, and of course our full house wins that one. And that was our final hand of the day. So for the week, we ended up winning $730. And as you can see, for the month, we're somewhere around $2,600. And for the year, somewhere around $25,000. Besides misplaying that king, queen of clubs, I was kind of pleased with my play. But I was really pleased at Christmas time because we get to watch our youngest, which is Zeus, open his gifts.
Let me help you with the tape. Okay, can you get it now? Okay. Can you get it?
As you can see, Zeus does not have opposable thumbs, so he has a hard time opening boxes. So my wife was kind enough to help him get that box open, and he did get some nice presents. Once again, thank you very much for all your support. I really do appreciate you guys watching the videos and getting to the end. The 2 pictures on the bottom was Zeus's first Christmas with us 8 years ago. And of course, the one where he's laying on the floor. That's the latest. Thanks for all your support. Until next week, good luck at the tables, and we'll see you back here soon. And of course, we'll give the end of the year review early in January.